We are going live in a couple of seconds. Let me make sure this works. Okay, I think we're good. We are going live in a couple of seconds. Okay, I think we're good. Hi, everyone. We're gonna get started now. Let me just, sure, okay. So my name is Maryam. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the manager of government relations at Planned Parenthood of Greater New York. I think we're good. I want to welcome everyone to the Count Me In census chat. This one is specifically for the African community. We want to take this time to talk to folks in the community, talk to leaders in the community and organizations to make sure that we're getting accurate information about the census out to folks, because we know that the Trump administration right now has been attacking the immigrant community in a number of ways, recently with the order to not let undocumented folks participate in the census, and then cutting the non-response follow-up operation short. So there's a number of attacks on the immigrant community. And we, again, just want to make sure we get folks notified on how to fill out the census and what we can do to ensure this community has a complete count. Today, we will be using the hashtag #CountMeIn. So if you're watching on Facebook and you want to chat with us, make sure you all are using that hashtag. So I'll stop talking for a little bit, and I want to introduce our panelists who are with us today from Sauti Yetu. I'll give you some time to both introduce yourselves and speak a little bit more about the organization. So you all can jump in and start. I won't call on anyone.
So Console can go first.
So my name is Consolasi, where I work for Sauti Yetu. Sauti Yetu is as a community. I work at Sauti Yetu as a program manager in the community awareness program. Sauti Yetu is a no-profit organization that has a mission to mobilize low-income and no-income African immigrants, women, and the family to improve their quality of their life, the quality of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
We work with families, we work with the families, including children and the whole family. So Sauti Yetu has 5 programs. Those 5 programs, we all do preventive services. But I am here representing the community awareness program at Sauti Yetu. The community awareness program, we work with the community to connect the African community to service they need, and do educational workshop on family planning, social health education. Currently, we are working also on the census. And we have the emergency relief funds also. We are assisting people in the African community who had, as you know, we are in, so many people are having had time to put food on their table. So this assistance give little relief to the African families.
Mm-hmm.
So we are working on that, but unfortunately we're ending this in 1 week. We've been working on this community relief funds for a month, and we've been really successful helping the African community by assisting them. We help, like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 500 families so far.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So now that's how I'm gonna stop and give to Mohammed
Mm.
what you want to add, and we'll be talking about the census after.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Consol. And thank you, Maryam, for hosting this important conversation. And I just want to add to what Consol said. By the way, my name is Mohammed Mada, and I am here wearing two caps. One cap as the chairman of the African Advisory Council to the Bronx Borough President. So I'm speaking on behalf of the community. And in that role is where we partnered with Sauti Yetu regarding the census. So it's a partnership that is necessary. And I joined Sauti Yetu working on the census as the census captain. So that's my second cap that I'm wearing today. And as Consuls mentioned, the emergency relief fund that we've been working on for about a month and a half now, was strictly targeted towards the undocumented members of our community, those that really suffered the most during this COVID-19. And as Consul said, it has been very successful. It's unfortunate that we have very limited amount of money that we can give to members of our community. We wish we could give to everybody. And the request is more than we can actually provide through MOIA, which is the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs, which is the one actually running this program. So yeah, thank you very much again, Maryam, for this important conversation. And I look forward to sharing some things that we have learned, doing this census and what we think our community can do to make sure that we all get counted. So thank you.
Thank you both. Before I continue, Consolati, is it possible to put your video on? We're on Facebook Live, so we just want to make sure folks are able to see you, if possible.
Oh, okay. It's not, I thought it was on. What's... Sure.
Oh, thank you. There you go.
So somehow I thought it was on. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. So we can jump right into our conversation. Can you both speak a little bit about what the census means for the African community specifically?
So the census, unfortunately, in the African community, we know that for many people in our community, they really don't fear the census. And they think the census is for other people. That doesn't concern us. But we live in this country. So we are raising our kids, we are raising our families in this country. And really, we have to participate. We have to make sure people know we exist. And we have a big number of African people in this country, and we are still growing fast. So one way to make sure that people know we exist is to be counted. If you are not counted, you don't exist actually. You don't exist in this country. So if we were for racial justice as African and Black people and brown people, we are, data collected on the 2020 census is used to monitor compliance with anti-discrimination provisions such as the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act. So if we were for economic justice, the census data determined in the annual allocation of hundreds of billions of dollars a year for our city, school, hospital, public transportation, social services, and so much more. And we use all these services as an African community. We need a good school for our kids. Don't want crowded classroom. Why? Because we don't fear the census, and we send our kids to our schools, areas, in our district. Yet we are taking places for kids that parents fill out the census. And we didn't fill out the census as the African community. We don't fill the census, but we're sending the kids in those classrooms. We're taking other people's spaces, which that's why you see in New York City, most of classes are crowded because the allocation of the money is who live in this area. That's how they allocated the money. So if we don't participate and make sure that we tell people we exist, we tell people we are here. We have kids who are gonna go to this school. We actually are cheating other people who are doing the right thing.
Yeah.
If you are for democracy, something that determine the number of representative in the Congress, as well as registration districts and voting districts. So all these things is, some people like to say that they are not involved in politics, they don't want to be, but politics affects where we live. Politics affects everything we do in our community. So we have to wake up and start participating in everything. Start electing our people to represent us. How we elect our people to represent us if we are not even showing up? All these representatives, when they see the number speak volume. They respect, if they see how many Africans that participate in the census, they say, okay, this is a big number. Let's see how we can take care of this population. So we need their vote. That's how it's here. They have to know that they will need our vote, so they will have to respond to our needs. But if there is no number, nobody's going to care for us. Nobody's going to care, not care to African community, because there is no number showing that we really exist. We really are here. We have a voice. It just, the census give us a voice so we can express, we can request all the service our community needs. I'm going to give an example about Sauti Yetu. Sauti Yetu works with the African community. For all the funding we get, we have to show that we have people that need these services. So it's the number. So if they see that, oh, there is a huge number of African community, a huge population of African community in the Bronx, they need these services. Let's find this organization that are working with them. But we can always present the number, but there is no way to find this number in this community. There's no way to verify this. We are the African community is huge and they need these services. So it gets very, very tricky for organizations that are willing to work with the African community to get funded, because the number don't show. So we need to get counted. We need to participate in the census and we get to get counted.
Thank you for that. Did you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it any better. If you look at the South Bronx, for example, where, you know, quote unquote, has the largest population of Africans anywhere in this country. I mean, this is the anecdotal information that's out there, but we have no way of verifying that information, right? So we just know by looking at the number of people. You know, if I'm walking in the street, every other person I see on the street is speaking an African language. Or, you know, I see a building and 60 to 70% of the people that live there, I see are African. So that's how we come up with these numbers, but we have no way of confirming that. And I always bring up the example of the Dominican community. One of the challenges, or, you know, one argument that people make with me whenever I bring this up is they tell me, oh, well, you know, that the Dominican community is one group and they speak one language. So this is why they are able to do what they do. But they're immigrants just as we are. And what they did in 2010 is their leadership organized their community prior to the census. And they did a lot of work in making sure that the Dominican community gets counted, and their numbers reflect. And if we look at today politically, they have a congressman, somebody who actually is from the Dominican Republic. He was an immigrant. He was a cab driver when he first came to America. So he has the same story like a lot of us do. And today he's representing not only the Dominican community, but he's representing parts of Manhattan, parts of the Bronx in Congress. And so he is sitting at the table where policies are made, decisions are made that affect the everyday lives of people. And again, another example, they have Idanis Rodriguez, who is a city councilman. He's also of Dominican heritage. He's an immigrant just like us, came here with no green card, struggled, drove a cab. I mean, same story. But because his community was able to organize, you know, they were able to have the numbers to back up their claim that they are an emerging population. And again, they have a city councilman. Today, they are looking at other key positions, other elected positions that they are looking to go after. And so, you know, aside from the funding for all these services, which is really, really critical in our neighborhoods, which is quote unquote the poorest communities, and it all ties into the census. Why is it poor? Because we're not getting the resources. And why are we not getting the resources? Because we're not getting the funding. And why are we not getting the funding? Is because they don't see us. We're not there. We're not in their books. So if we are in their books, they will know, okay, the South Bronx, okay, there is an emerging population. Okay, so we see there's 500,000 Africans living there. So we need more schools. We need more hospitals. We need, so all these services that Consul mentioned, you know, in addition to the political power and all of that, you know, it's really, really critical. So I am really urging anyone who is watching us today or who's listening, regardless whether you're African or not, it doesn't matter. And don't listen to this so-called executive order that the president just put out, saying they wanted not to count immigrants. I mean, don't listen to them. We have full assurance that census data is not shared with any government agency. So please, if you haven't completed the census, make sure you complete the census and do it now. Another reason why it's important, and I want to emphasize this point, census, they've hired people to start knocking on doors, and they've already started going out into the community. And we know that our community is very vulnerable, especially when it comes to people strangers knocking on your doors and things like that. So we are asking our community members, before someone knocks on your door, you never know who is behind that knock. So before they come knocking, go ahead, complete the census. You can do it over the phone. If you don't want to use your phone, you're afraid that they may track you, go to the library. The libraries have dedicated computers that can help you. Use your friend's phone, your friend who's a US citizen. If you're afraid of them tracking your phone, just go ahead and do it before someone comes on and knock on your door, because if you don't do it, they will knock on your door. That's the bottom line. They will come and knock on your door. So do it before they show up. Thank you, Maryam, again. And that's all I had to say.
So I want to add something, one thing about the census. We know all that the census is all about money, power, and respect. So if we don't, our community is undercounted, we are losing all these three.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you for that. I know that you mentioned a little bit at the end about folks knocking on doors. That's the non-response follow-up operation. Can you talk a little bit about what folks are to expect when they have someone from the census knock on their door in terms of the process and what information and what they should expect to hear from someone from the census?
So when a census taker visits your home, first check to make sure that they have a valid identity badge. Identity badge with their photograph on the badge. U.S. Department of U.S. Department of Commerce watermark on it, and expire date. If you still have question about their identity, you can still call to identify if that is the right person. The number is 212-882-7100. So to ask if this is a real person who is sent by the Census Bureau. So the census taker will never ask. Again, you have to be careful what they ask. Question they will never ask about immigration status or citizenship question. They will never ask for a driver license or state. They will never ask for a social security or a social security number. Never social security to the census taker. Or bank account or credit cards numbers. Anything on behalf of political party, they were not going to ask you where yet, who you believe, what your political party is. Money or donation. None of these are not the question the census taker will be asking. So those are the few things you should know when somebody is knocking at your door, and make sure all these requirements, this census taker don't have all these requirements. So don't give out your information for stranger.
Personal information.
Thank you. Thank you. And if folks don't want someone to come to their door, again, they can fill out the census online, or if there was forms mailed to folks' houses. So if folks have that, they can use that to fill it out. But can you talk a little bit about how our community can complete the census, what resources are out there, what organizations like yourself are out there to complete the census with someone that they know and trust?
Yeah, I think what at the beginning I mentioned the fact that well, what New York City did this time around, which was to kind of help push the numbers. New York City gave out grants to community-based organizations to help spread the word. And there were, I believe, 155 organizations that were funded throughout the city. And out of those 155, there were 6 African-based organizations. So Sauti Yetu is one. African Communities Together was another one. Young Casa Islamic Community Center was another one. Ifitayo, which is a dance group, Nigerian dance group based in Brooklyn. We also had the Malian Women's Federation and the Congolese Refugee Alliance. So those are the 6 organizations that really worked on the census. And although the contract have ended for most of these organizations, I believe right now Sauti Yetu and I think Ifitayo are the only 2 organizations that are still, working on the census, without, with payment. Let me put it that way. I mean, for lack of a better word. The other 4 organizations, I believe they are still doing the census, but their contract with the city ended. So any one of these organizations, and one of the things that we did, and which was very unique, no other group or organization was able to do that, is the 6 African organizations. So we would meet like every week or every other week, just to talk about strategies, what each one of us was doing, how we could be more effective in reaching the community. So we created like a bond among ourselves, and that, you know, that has continued. So we became like a partnership. So we don't, the idea was not to, you know, there's no reason why Sauti Yetu is going to contact somebody who's in Yankasa, because Yankasa is already there. So you don't duplicate the effort. And I thought it was very, very effective. We did an Eid census, get out the vote, Eid al-Fitr virtual Facebook event, and it was very successful. We did Immigrants Week, the New York City Immigrants Week. We participated with that, with another virtual conversation, and I thought that was very successful. So any one of these organizations can help, as well as, again, as we said, your local libraries. You know, if you're not sure, you can always contact us directly. You know, if you have our personal numbers, we wouldn't mind helping people to fill out the census, and we've done it. I've done it for a few people. But if you want to do it yourself, you go to my2020census.gov. Maryam, I'm sure you have that. You can type that in the comment section, or 1-844-330-2020. Those are the numbers. And I believe there are several languages that you can you know, fill out the census. So there's really no excuse for anyone not to be counted.
Yeah. Thank you. I was going to provide that information at the end. I'll repeat it for folks again, but thank you for providing the website and the phone number. I do want to take a quick pause in case there are any questions that have come in. We'll give it a couple of seconds. Okay, I don't think we have any questions. Yeah, I don't see them. But again, thank you so much. I think we can end here. Thank you both for being here, speaking on behalf of Sauti Yetu with Planned Parenthood of Greater New York to get this really important information out to the community, to my community. I'm Nigerian and Ghanaian. So thank you for getting this.
Okay, I was waiting for you to correct that.
Yeah, thank you for getting this information out to our people to make sure that they get the census done. You all outlined exactly why it's so important, what's at risk, the ways in which our community can access resources, and how that that is broken down and really based on census data. I want to remind everyone again, if you want to complete the census yourself, you can go to my2020census.gov or call 844-330-2020, and you could speak to someone in English or a number of the languages that they have available. If you all don't have anything else, I will end it here. Do you have anything else to add before we close?
So Lassie, any closing remarks?
Yeah. The closing remark, just let's get counted.
That's it.
Let's get counted.
Let's get counted. Absolutely. Yep.
And thank you, Maryam, for inviting us on this Facebook Live.
Yeah.
And looking forward to keep working with you.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you again for coming out.
All right. Thank you very much. And stay safe.
Yes.
Drink plenty of water. This is hot.
Thank you.
All right, guys. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Bye-bye.